Hello everyone, welcome to Trade Talk Tuesday. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. So for those of you not familiar with the stream, this is where we get into what it's like to be in the skilled trades, how to get into the skilled trades, what you can expect, things that I have seen and personally worked on, some videos, pictures, all that kind of stuff. From an industrial perspective, taking a break from talking about the pop culture news of the day and such, let's get into where we use our hands to repair things and build things. So usually what I do is I hit up the news out in industry just to see what is out there. You can sort of tell how your economy's doing by reading the industrial news and seeing which factories are getting built or which ones are getting shut down, whether there's going to be strikes, layoffs, or whether they need more people. And for that, I will have to go to, where is it here? Here, and then we'll go to MRO Magazine. There we go. Not too much in the way that caught my eye, but I will try. The government invests over $97 million in clean tech for farmers. I'm kind of interested as to what that is all about. Lawrence MacAulay, Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food, announced more than $97 million under the Agricultural Clean Technologies Program, or ACT. This funding will support 162 projects across Canada. Minister MacAulay made the announcement at Foley River Farms Limited, a 74-year-old family-owned dairy farm in Debert, Nova Scotia. The farm operation received $49,280 under the adoption stream of the ACT program to purchase and install a solar energy system. The project uses solar energy to replace electricity from the grid, significantly reducing the farm's greenhouse gas emissions. I guess if you're worried about that sort of thing. The ACT program provides farmers and agribusinesses funding to help develop and adopt the latest clean technologies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and boost their long-term competitiveness. Funding is focused on 3 priority areas: green energy and energy efficiency, precision agriculture, and bioeconomy solutions. And hey there! What's up, Jay's Daddy? Good to see you. Just going over a little bit of news here. Across Nova Scotia, the ACT program has supported 24 projects to date, representing a total of more than $6 million. The Government of Canada will continue to support the research, development, and adoption of clean technology to help the sector adapt to climate change so Canadian farmers continue feeding our country and the world. It's so stupid to come after farmers. This government trying to persecute them for their greenhouse gas emissions. First of all, tell me, what is a greenhouse gas? I need a definition of that. You can't just say greenhouse gas and expect me to know what it is. Also, leave farmers alone. You want to starve? Start putting farmers out of business, and then you'll see what happens. Canadian farmers fully understand the need to take care of the environment, and they are constantly innovating to find new solutions to reduce their emissions. Our investment in the Agricultural Clean Technology Program will help keep our farmers and ranchers on the cutting edge so they can make their operations more resilient today and for generations to come. Hey, how you doing, Alex Moore? Good to see you. 414 projects have been announced to date under the ACT program, totaling up to nearly $196 million. These projects complement the work already underway to help farmers reduce carbon emissions and develop technology to adapt to climate change. Once again, I don't believe you. It was snowing here at the beginning of May. May 1st, we had snow where I live. So stop telling me that there's climate change and the Earth's heating up, because I don't buy it. It's baloney. Let's see. That was the only thing that caught me on here. We'll go to this one. This looked interesting to me. It's from Industrial Equipment News, and their top story. Air Force awards $13 billion for new fleet of Doomsday planes. The Air Force skipped over Boeing and went with a different defense contractor. Is anybody surprised about that? There we go. When it came to replace its aging fleet of Boeing E-4B Nightwatch aircraft, or Doomsday planes as they're often called, the Air Force skipped over the manufacturer and went with a different defense contractor. The service recently announced that Sierra Nevada, a 60-year-old aerospace company based in Nevada, would receive a $13 billion contract that runs through July 2036. The Nightwatch, which is a militarized version of a Boeing 747-200, is a 4-engine aircraft that's capable of refueling in flight, according to the Air Force. In case of a national emergency or destruction of ground command and control centers, the aircraft provides a highly survivable command, control, and communication center to direct U.S. forces, execute emergency war orders, and coordinate actions by civil authorities. The major contract win for Sierra Nevada, which is smaller than several of its competitors, but it's a project that the company has been preparing for recently. According to Aviation Week, Sierra Nevada last year opened a 90,000 square foot maintenance, repair, and overhaul hangar. It's just one of 4 the company has planned and will be accompanied by a 120,000 square foot paint facility. Sierra Nevada's strategy worked, and it won the contract for the Survivable Airborne Operations Center, which will include about 8 to 10 planes, but as the report points out, the new fleet may actually grow beyond that number since the Air Force is being pressured to bring back a program that keeps nuclear command posts in the air at all times. Ooh, didn't know that. Boeing confirmed to Reuters in December that it has been taken out of consideration for the SAOC program. However, its planes may still be involved. The Boeing 747 is still the top candidate for replacing the current fleet of Nightwatch aircraft, and if that's the case, then Sierra Nevada will be in the market for some lightly used 747s that it can upgrade. Yeah, well, there had to be consequences with all that Boeing stuff going on. And look at that. They didn't get a $13 billion defense contract. Workers at the Stellantis plant near Detroit authorize a strike. Okay. Let's see what this is all about. Oh. Well, I've enjoyed my one free piece of content, so now they're like, you have to put in your email and all that. No, go away. I won't be doing that. We'll just move along to Canadian manufacturing. Raufoss Technology Canada announces an $18 million investment in Quebec. Hey Veritax, it's almost time for Trades Talk Tuesday with Pop Culture Mechanic. Get your safety gear, my friends. Put on your safety glasses, hard hat, safety boots. Put some gloves on. Okay, so this technology invested in Quebec, what did it do? The manufacturer of forged aluminum car suspension components is adding a new machining and assembly cell featuring a dozen robots. Oh. So now it looks like the way to get around being out of a job would be the guy that repairs these robots. So take your robotics and study up on that. Probably a little bit of pneumatics, hydraulics, whatever it takes, and you too could be repairing the robots, because they're not going to last all the time. As the title of the stream is, things wear out. So eventually these robots are going to wear out, and you're going to have to repair them. Raufoss Technology announced an $18 million investment at its Boisbriand facility to meet growing demand coming from North American electric vehicle makers. The manufacturer of forged aluminum car suspension components is adding a new machining and assembly cell featuring a dozen robots. A series of optimizations is also planned for other manufacturing cells already in operation. And I just want to say hi to DJ Ronnie G. Yes, DJ, there is a lot of competition tonight. I didn't think this many people would be streaming, but I just left Brandon's stream. I was watching him play Ni no Kuni. And yeah, I checked, and on my feed, man, there's a lot of people out there streaming tonight. Come on, you guys. Tuesday's my night. You guys do the other nights. The latest investment also comes with 35 new operator and electromechanic positions. There you go. That's what I was talking about. electromechanic positions, enabling the company to accelerate its manufacturing process for the next generation of new electric vehicles. The investment marks Raufoss' entry into North America's electric vehicle manufacturing supply chain, a highly strategic step that will spur the growth of Raufoss Canada in Bois-Briand for the years to come, said Jean Meredith, co-chief executive officer, Raufoss Canada. As demonstrated over the past 22 years, our team of skilled professionals is ready to take on this new chapter. Quebec and Greater Montreal are home to key assets that have contributed to Raufoss Canada's success for over 20 years. As we've seen with other projects, notably in Norway and Germany, a skilled talent pool and access to a global economy are essential. These assets are present in Bois-Briand, which has contributed to our sustained growth in Quebec over the past 2 decades, said Alfred Hager, Chief Financial Officer, Raufoss Technology. Aluminum suspension arms are considerably lighter than steel parts. For that reason, they are sought after by electric vehicle manufacturers looking to reduce the weight of their cars to optimize battery capacity. Established in Bois-Briand in 2002, Raufoss Canada has been collaborating with the Cégep Lionel Goul to develop talented skill to meet the demands that stem from automation. This is the Austrian company's 5th expansion project in its Bois-Briand facility, which supplies global automakers including GM, BMW, Stellantis, Mercedes, and Ford. Raufoss Canada's commitment to Greater Montreal demonstrates how our metropolitan region remains competitive for manufacturing companies on the world stage. Our expertise and skilled talent pool enables investors to leverage innovation and optimize operations. Don't you just love those big long words? Word salad, they just throw them in there. Leverage innovation, optimize operation. Yeah, these guys really like to throw that stuff out there. Makes it sound really good. What's more, thanks to companies like Raufoss, our Quebec products travel abroad, said Stéphane Paquet, President and CEO of Montreal International. We are proud to support Raufoss with its major investment in upgrading its Bois-Briand facility. The manufacturing subsidiary has built its success on Quebec know-how, allowing it to connect to customers worldwide in an extremely competitive industry. Our Investment Quebec International team, backed by our innovation experts, will continue to assist international companies and their subsidiaries with their business activities and digital transformation right here in Quebec, said Hubert Boldu, President of Investissement Québec International. Need to make some coffee? You've got 4 of them going, Alex? Yeah, that's a lot of us out there. They have 5 plants worldwide, serving the major automotive groups, including North American manufacturers Ford and General Motors. Okay. But yeah, look at being an electromechanic, and you can handle taking on those robots and repairing them and whatever else needs to be done to them. Moving right along. I found this on the Daily Commercial News. Labor brief, open bidding. More apprenticeship spots are key to labor shortage, says Cardus. I don't know who Cardus is, but moving towards open bidding and creating more apprenticeship spots for skilled trades regardless of union affiliation is critical in resolving the issues of labor supply to meet the housing shortage, says think tank Cardus. Renz Nauta, the program director for work and economics at Cardus, a longtime advocate of open bidding, says, to meet the demand for skilled labor and the building boom driven by government investment, a rethink of how we recruit, train, and deploy those workers is needed. I think there are 2 pillars here, he says. One is the future, and the other is right now. Nothing about the past, just the future and right now? Okay. Governments don't have all the tools to resolve skilled labor shortages in the immediate time frame, he says, but they can put in place policies and strategies to resolve it in the near future. One is promote skilled trades as a viable and lucrative career path, and we don't do that enough, he says. Though recent moves by the Ontario government to promote trades for credits in high school are a good step forward. That is a good step forward. You gotta let them know, whether they're, maybe in junior high or high school, that being in the trades is nothing to be ashamed of, and it can be quite a fulfilling and rewarding career choice. That's what I think. However, I think in post-secondary education, colleges need to have a more equitable share of the funding for trades, he says, adding there's also needs to be an off-ramp from the academic university path to transfer into skilled trades without necessitating starting from scratch. We need to ensure that skilled trades get a fair share of the money in education. None of these will solve the issue overnight, he adds, but other factors like open tendering will open up government projects to non-union contractors that in turn will create more opportunities for apprentices. Hey, Godzillionaire, how you doing? You push the trades, how will we have enough gender studies majors? Yes, how will we? What will we do? Who's going to build those bridges? Gender studies. That'll do it. I'm sure their bridge won't fall down. And that's the end of it. We need to find a happy medium here, he says, one that is flexible. Right now, the money in post-secondary isn't really meeting the needs of the current labor market. I don't understand what they're talking about. When you go to trade school, you pay your own way. You don't, I was going to say don't depend on the government. Yeah, there's student loans you can get, but you don't need them. You can just pay your way in a post-secondary education and stop waiting for the government to give you a handout. They're not going to take care of you. They don't care about you. So just do it yourself. The only person that's going to take care of you is you. So do that. Do yourself a favor. Don't rely on other governments or any entities like that to take care of you, because they don't want to. And once you're self-sufficient, you don't have to worry about anything like that. You don't have to worry about them trying to come after you for stuff. Yeah, so that's that one. I mean, I agree with them in that they should introduce it earlier on. Junior high, I think, for sure. Kids coming from grade 7 to grade 8 have something in there that's like introduction to trades, and you could have different kinds. And then go from there, see what people are interested in. And if they're not interested in it, have something else for them to do. Home economics or cooking, something like that. Sewing. Have it so that they learn that in high school. Because that's a skill, even though it's not a trade. It is a skill to learn. So yeah, that's it. It's kind of it for our not much more for news. It's very slow news day. Tallahassee exploration fined for methane emission violations and misleading reporting. Oh, that's in Florida, isn't it? Company has been ordered to pay $191,885 fine. The Alberta Energy Regulators fined a Calgary-based junior oil and gas producer for failing to meet its fugitive emission and methane reporting requirements. The regulator said it began investigating Tallahassee exploration in 2022. So, well, not from Florida. That's just their name. Or maybe they're based out of there. Maybe that's that's where their headquarters is. Because why else would you call yourself Tallahassee? But yeah, the regulator began investigating Tallahassee exploration in 2022 and has determined the company broke Alberta's methane emission rules on 2 counts, with both violations occurring in 2021. The AER also says Tallahassee provided false or misleading information by resubmitting information from the 2020 reporting period and reporting it as data from the 2021 period. Oh man, these guys are in trouble. Company has been ordered to pay $191,000, $885 fine. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas and its second largest cause of global warming after carbon dioxide. It is a main component of natural gas and is also a byproduct of oil drilling. Shortahassee? Yeah, DJ. That's not Tallahassee. It's Shortahassee. Fugitive emissions is a term that refers to the unintentional or unwanted release of harmful gases into the atmosphere as a result of oil and gas drilling activity. Canada has set a target of reducing oil and gas methane emissions by at least 75% from 2012 levels by 2030. New proposed federal rules for the oil and gas sector would prohibit the routine controlled release of methane, practice known as venting or flaring from oil and natural gas operations, as well as require companies to invest in enhanced leak detection and repair. Imagine if those studies included learning about plants and crops and digging in dirt. Yes. All these activists that are like, oh, stop oil now, just stop it. It's like, why don't you go out and plant some trees and bushes and plant some crops? Do something rather than chaining yourself or gluing yourself to the pavement, which I thought was pretty funny because I think somebody used a mixture of like cement and super glue, and now they're going to lose their hand. And it's like, oh, was that worth it for you? Did you save the planet by losing your hand? Good job, dummy. It's ridiculous what they're doing out there. What else we got? Novarc launches spool welding robot, SWR TIPTIG. Nova Bus receives contract for 33 electric buses with BC Transit. Pet Value reports $17.5 million first quarter profit. Revenue rose $260 million. Wow, that's really good for a place that caters to pets. Semi report shows that 2023 semiconductor materials market revenue has declined from record high. I want to see what this spool welding robot's all about. Robotic welders are cool, but they also take so long to set up programs and make fixtures to make them worthwhile. Yes. Yeah, agree, Godzillionaire. I mean, that's fine. They can do what they need, but they need to be programmed first of all. And if it switches to a different product, then you've got to come in and reprogram it again, because it's not going to know what to weld. Vancouver, Novarc Technologies has launched its spool welding robot, SWR TIPTIG, for fabrication shops and contract manufacturers. TIPTIG is a cobot designed specifically for pipe pressure vessel and roll welding applications requiring the TIG welding process. Okay, TIG welding is just kind of like what you see there on the end of that. It heats it up and then it feeds an electrode into it. Tungsten welding. TIG welding system allows operators using gas tungsten arc welding or tungsten inert gas welding process to make the highest quality welds with integrity and precision. At speeds 2 to 3 times faster than manual TIG welding, and because of the ease of use of the SWR system, the TIPTIG reduces the skill level required for welding. It makes it accessible to a wider range of operators, allowing previously non-TIG welders to make TIG quality welds. Well, they're not doing it. It's the robot that's doing it. Honestly, and they like this because they can get rid of skilled welders and just hire somebody that's an operator. So they're not a welder, they're an operator. When appearance is important, fabrication shops typically use TIG welding for superior arc and weld puddle control to create clean welds when welding thin materials and exotic metals, and to satisfy high quality testing requirements, because the heat input is often controlled by pressing on a foot pedal, similar to driving a car. TIG welding allows the operator to heat up or cool down the weld puddle, resulting in precise control. Novarc created TIPTIG because of the demand for SWR customers to perform TIG welding. Novarc's clients were welding higher amounts of stainless steel, duplex and super duplex, and Inconel that required the TIG process. Novark's new TIPTIG system can be used in industries like aerospace, food, beverage, mining, and minerals, oil and gas, pharmaceutical, power generation, shipbuilding, chemical process, and water treatment and desalination. TIPTIG system can reduce human exposure to all welding hazards, positioning the operator several meters away from the welding arc and noxious welding fumes. Novark's automation welding technology allows the operators to work remotely from the arc, and with the use of proper ventilation, the risk of exposure to dangerous fumes can be eliminated, and radiant heat as well as muscle fatigue are minimized. Once again, that's great. That's all fine and dandy, but as long as you have a good ventilation system, you wear your respirator and your welding helmet, you'll be fine. Yeah, muscle fatigue, but you can't compare yourself to a robot because they can do hours of work nonstop, whereas obviously humans need to rest. They're not machines. Yeah, the robot allows the welder to stay away from the hazards of welding by being unemployed. That's right. You nailed it, Godzillionaire. No, that's I mean, they're touting this. Obviously, they're going to toot their own horn and say, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." And it's something you have to set up. And I can't go over to this robot and say, "Hey, can you weld these two pieces together for me? I just need a quick weld." It's not going to happen. I don't like the fact that that they switch. They'll switch from using actual welding, skilled welding tradesmen to a robot or an operator that will just do it. I don't know. When it breaks down, who verifies and certifies that it's repaired well enough to resume duties? Yes. Yeah, Veritex. You'll need somebody who is versed in robotics and probably pneumatics and hydraulics. Also, they're going to have to know a bit about programming, basic programming, and what else? About welding. So you're going to need somebody who has a lot of different, wears a lot of different hats to repair this thing. Because can you tell what a good weld looks like? The average person, they can look at a weld and go, "Oh, that looks okay," and it won't be okay. There won't be, it won't have good enough penetration. All the stuff that they need to do. Sometimes they'll get them X-rayed just to show that they are good quality welds. You need a good CAD/CAM person to program. There you go, Godzillionaire again. CAD/CAM. If you want to get a job in the trades, become a programmer for CNC machines. That's where the money should be. Let's see. George Weston, first quarter profit falls, raises dividend. That's only writing or designing the patterns it uses? You're talking about when the circuitry or mechanisms inevitably malfunction, and they will? Yes, well, everything wears out. Things wear out is what the title of my stream is today, and there'll be no exception for those robots. The wires, they'll wear out, they'll overheat. The hydraulics, the pneumatics, the things will wear out. There's all sorts of wear points. And eventually they will fail, and you have to get somebody in there that can change it up. It might be a millwright. I'm pretty sure I could deal with with robots replacing the components on it. The only thing I couldn't do would be probably the programming, because I have done my fair share of welding, and I do know what a good weld looks like. So I could have a look at it as it did one. Call the manufacturer. Most places will do a maintenance plan because there are too many parts. Some of them will, yep, you bet they will. They'll be more than happy to set that up with you. Because then they're like, we have a source of income now. These guys need our parts. For instance, code for seeking for planned obsolescence and of hardware. Could be. You hope not. You hope that they maintain their service for that piece of equipment for you at least want it for 20 years, I think. Don't forget the dreaded software update. Yeah, they're going to come by and be like, "Oh, hey, this new software won't work with whatever you're running now, so you need to upgrade every robot, and that's one for every robot you have. Alex, you hate software updates? I know, me too. Usually it causes a lot of trouble than it solves. John Deere has entered the chat. I've heard about those guys. The John Deere and their software and that, it's like you can't even get into it to do anything. Farmers have to take it to the John Deere dealer. If there's like a code that's, if they have an error code or something, they have to take it to the dealership. Until they completely update the chips and boards to no longer be compatible. Look no further than what the car industry recently suffered with their chip shortages. Yes, Veritax, good point. That's why maybe buying an older vehicle is a good idea. Something that doesn't have all these chips and stuff on it. When cars were just a carburetor and an air intake. And, I don't want to go back to the era of like timing points and all that, but electronic ignition is fine. But that's it. You don't need computer for your car. Hey, CRC, how you doing, buddy? Hey, thanks for that. I was glad to make it to 900. I did that on Sunday. That's nice. Yeah, nice little milestone. I'm pretty happy about that. I gotta up my game, try to get some more people over. We'll see how it goes though. What happens when the electrical systems that power those smart welders are not energizable due to systematic weaknesses? Gonna wish you had an experienced welder on speed dial. Yep. That's the thing, Veritex. I wouldn't get rid of the welders right away. The welders, a good welder is worth his weight in gold for sure. Especially if he's highly skilled. What do we got here? George Weston raised its quarterly dividend as it reported its first quarter profit fell compared with a year ago as it hit by the one-time charges related to its large stake in Choice Properties Real Estate Investment Trusts, the company which also holds a majority interest in Loblaws. Loblaws is a large grocery chain in Canada. It says it will now pay a quarterly dividend of 82 cents per share, up from 71.3 cents per share. The increased payment to shareholders came as George Weston says its profit attributable to common shareholders totaled $236 million, or $1.73 per diluted share for the quarter ended March 23rd. The result was down from profit of $426 million, or $3 per diluted share. Revenue for the quarter totaled $13.74 billion, up from $13.13 billion. On an adjusted basis, George Weston said it earned $2.30 per diluted share, up from $1.99. Huh. Reminds you of Arrested Development, the lawyer, Bob Loblaw. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I thought this would be a lot more interesting, but nope, nothing for George Weston. Nova Bus receives contract for 33 electric buses with BC Transit. I mean, that's all right. People named Bob always remind you of Office Space. Good old Office Space. Yeah. I'm going to get you to go ahead and move your office down to the broom closet. Good old Bill Lumberg. All right, let's have a look at this one. St. Eustache. Nova Buses received a contract for 33 LFSC Plus, the 40-foot battery electric bus model of Nova Bus from BC Transit in British Columbia. These electric buses will join BC Transit's zero-emission fleet, enabling the transit agency to reach its 2040 electrification goals. So, this has all come full circle. And I'm talking about having transit running on electricity in Vancouver. Back in the 1930s and 1940s, that's what they had. They already had that. They had your, what do you call them? hell, I can't remember what they called them. They weren't electric buses; they were trolleys, I guess, and they would ride on tracks around the city. And then with the popularization of the automobile, they got rid of all of those electric, and I know they are electric trolleys, and made room for gas-powered cars. But now they're buying more electric vehicles so they can reach their goal, which they would have had if they would have stuck with that back from the 1930s and 1940s. So yeah, just my observation. Zero emission? Where does the power come from? Shut up, climate denier. Yeah. Never mind the coal-powered generating station. But for Vancouver, they have hydroelectric power. We are pleased to partner with NovaBus to electrify our fleet, which is a significant part of our plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Again, with the greenhouse gas emissions. With other active procurements underway and work advancing to charging infrastructure designs in communities, it's an exciting time for BC Transit. BC Transit is committed to its electrification plan since the launch of its low-carbon fleet program in 2019. Although the program is to implement a bus replacement strategy by using greenhouse gas reducing technology. This contract is for acquiring 33 buses, will support BC Transit transition to electric buses. And they've had electric buses before. Don't let them fool you. They've had lots of electric buses. It's just they weren't plug-in or battery powered. They rode on the lines above the road. They would have little what do you call it? They'd have the power poles that would come out, and they'd hit the lines above the street. So they're sounding like this is like a first time ever having it, but it's like they've always had electric buses. They always complained about how expensive they were to work on and such like that. So when there was a storm, the bus would get stopped in their tracks. You know, DJ, because Vancouver was not a snow city, they would have trouble getting up some of the hills if it snowed. Never mind the fact that the electric buses would stop. It was hard enough for them to get up the hills when there was snow on there. The LFS is built on the platform offering a fully electric version of the bus. It's been running year-round in several cities, including Vancouver. NovaBus is honored to support BC Transit in efforts to pursue the decarbonation of its bus fleet. Consider our mission to accompany transit agencies in Canada in their electrification journeys. We commend BC Transit for their commitment to clean transportation, and we look forward to working together to achieve our collective climate change goals. NovaBus is a Canadian electric bus manufacturer and a member of the Volvo Group. Okay. All right, well, I think that's it. That's enough for the news there. Let's change it up a bit. Let's go for some pictures. So I know you guys like pictures. And I was picking through some of them today. Hoping you guys haven't seen these before. And I'm going to share them with you. There we go. So, this you're looking at are like staples securing this box closed, this crate. And a fella came in and he wanted to see what was in there, and he just started ripping and tearing like an animal. And one of these he left hanging, and it got one of the guys. It scraped their hand. I mean, look at this. Look at how long those staples are. And so we wrote it up as an incident because the guy was an idiot and he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have left it just hanging there where it can catch on people. But yeah, that's those are some pretty wicked looking staples. In wintertime, so as you can see here, there's a downspout. Serranos! Hey buddy, how you doing? Good to see ya. Yeah, so here, you see the wires going into the downspout? That's heat trace to keep it from being frozen in there. So what'll happen is it'll melt any ice that happens to be in that downspout, and then it spills it onto here, and it made it a big slipping, tripping hazard. So I was tasked with I cleaned it up. As you can see, I have my ice chipper there. That green thing, that's an ice chipper. And my snow shovel. Cleaned it up. And was a problem too, because the downspout is like this is a round pipe in a square hole. I don't know who did this work, but they get a fail on that. You don't do that. You get the proper square downspout to go in there, or you get somebody from a company to do it. And it doesn't look like this anymore. I took some pictures of the finished product, and we ran this downspout along this side of the building. So now it runs along this side away from the walking area. So it won't do that anymore, as you can see. So that downspout is no longer there. It's taken out. There's been new heat trace put in the new downspout. Yeah, it is a hazard, all right. You got her, Alex. Just like this is a hazard. So as you can see, this has a bit of water in it. This is inside one of our storage buildings. And that is ice on the floor, because the building has no insulation. So it's only a couple of degrees warmer inside. But yes, when the water comes in and melts and it comes in, and then it stays on the floor here. And then you have a real skating rink. So it's just a matter of waiting or getting it melted and pumping it out. And there's the view from the other side. As you can see, there's some of my footsteps in the ice. And our drain is in the corner here to my right. Kitty Bear, do not place a tent next to a downspout in the summer. Before you know it, you float out of your tent in an air mattress. No break time for hockey games? No, unfortunately not, Godzillionaire. We'd have to get there isn't that many of us. There's only about maybe 3 of us on shift at a time, so you'd have like the 2 goalies and 2 forwards, and that's it. Or I guess a little bit of shinny would be okay. Here's something. Now, you guys can probably see that. I do have better pictures, but this was the old snowplow. We don't have it anymore. It's out of service. It's been replaced by a new one. And as you can see here, hydraulic lines, that the outer cover is worn away, and now you're exposing the cords on the inside. So after this, you're going to start having a leak, a high pressure leak. And for those that don't know, the pressures from hydraulics can be from 2,000 psi, 3,000 psi, depending on what your machine is running at, all the way up to 5,000 psi. But this one was probably closer to 2,000, 2,500. But it didn't leak yet. So the idea for me was doing a preventative maintenance, looking over it closely. Yeah, it can blow a hole. Yes, Kitty Bear. It's called a high pressure injection. And that can make it so that you lose your hand if you don't get it treated, or you can actually lose your life. It'll get all the way to your heart, because the hydraulic oil has the properties in it with all the additives and all that is that eats the fat out of your body. And yeah, hydraulic injection, you guys look it up. I don't want to look it up. It's pretty ugly looking. But if you guys want to see what hydraulic injection is, it'll make you never want to touch these. And you're not supposed to ever touch these. If you see a mist or something like that, don't reach out and see what it is. You're supposed to shut the machine down and then go get the mechanic. There's some more wear on a different line. So this hydraulic line has more rust, more wear on the outer cover. Just run some duct tape over it. Yeah, Godzilla. That'll hold it. Not the best picture. It wasn't focusing on that one. It was focusing more on the wall, it looks like, or that bag of ice melt. No need to see it in real life working as a garbage man. Yeah, okay. Like I say, you got to be careful. Hydraulic injection injuries are just horrific. It is a clean wall, isn't it, Serranos? Look at that. That's our wash bay. So guys, when we're not working on machinery, guys will pull their cars in there and wash it off with our pressure washer. They'll wash their cars. So the cars are always nice and sparkly clean. And I'm guilty of that too. I do it sometimes if I get the chance. Pull my car in, give it a nice pressure wash. This is something you're not supposed to do either. Come-alongs are meant for temporary pulling, not meant for hanging permanent structures. So that's what this is doing. You've got the one in there, the one end attached to that pipe. That is not a permanent fixture. That is not the way to be doing things. You have to have a proper cradle. Also with you can use a beam clamp or something, but and a piece of ready rod to hold that up. And yeah, they needed to do better than that. And I made it so that they got rid of using a come-along as a permanent fixture. Same with here. They're using what is it? It's a ratchet strap. They're using a ratchet strap to hold that bundle there and hold that in place. And it's like, you guys aren't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to use a ratchet strap to hold things like that. Oh, this is a good one. So this was the old snowplow I was telling you guys about. This thing is like half worn away. This is the backing plate for your blade that goes on the ground. This thing was run so much during the past, I don't know how many years they owned it, 10 years, 20 years, probably 10. Anyways, they ran it so hard that they wore the blade out and the backing plate. Because these holes are supposed to be in the middle of the backing plate. They are not. They have worn it so that you are touching the mounting holes for the blade that goes on there. That one's been completely worn away. So they've now opened it up. So this bolt that goes through here will hardly do any kind of grabbing on it. And I told the plant manager, if you guys keep using this blade is just going to fall off and you're going to run over it. And that's going to be the end of it. So I finally convinced them this year to buy a brand new snowblade. Just like this thing. This is for the snowblade too. This is what keeps it supposed to help it out. It's supposed to help set the height of it. And as you can see, this is a new one. And this is not. This is a worn one. Blaze the Cat, how you doing? Nice to see you. So yes, these are parts of the snowblade. These are brand new. That one was worn out in a sad state. I think I got another. There we go. There's a picture from the side. These ones have, look how thick they are. And then this one is worn down to nothing. So that's what happens when you don't take care of your equipment. It just gets worn and worn and worn and worn. This here, maybe I'll show you this first. Oh, no. So in your catch basins for your storm drains, they'll have bags that will catch material to keep from clogging up your drains. Because it's easier to catch the stuff than it is to try to suck it out of a 20-foot deep vault. And this was the one that we had. We had this one. That's what that looks like. And that's how much dirt and rocks were in it. So we cleaned it out, we dumped it out, and it's like, okay, well, there's your... That was all kept from going down inside and clogging up the internal workings for the storm drains. And there it is there. That's how far down it is. That's one of the storm drains. This is yeah, I do have the date here. April of 2022. That's ice. So it was still cold enough to have ice down there. Yeah, you know what they are, Alex. You've seen them. So I was taking some pictures just to see what's down there. Here's another one. Living in Canada, the country with 2 weeks of summer. Yeah, I'm not. You're not wrong. And sometimes what you got to do is you have to. I think what I was getting a picture of here is I made this this hanger so the hose wouldn't be lying all over the ground. Over here, to keep it from washing away the dirt, I put in a piece of C-channel so that the rain that falls on there wouldn't wash away. Over here, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to put a piece of plate steel underneath this to keep it from washing away. Because you get a lot of trouble when you start washing away your ground. You create voids, and then those voids will not be as strong. You won't be able to support whatever it is, like on the sidewalk here. There's a void under the sidewalk because of this. And then you'll get cracking, and it'll eventually cave in. So you have to make sure you don't wash away your soil or dirt. Yeah, there's another better shot of it. Yeah, so we had trouble. As you can see, it's starting to crack there because of a void that was, because the dirt was washed away. There was a void under there, and it was just the weight of its own concrete was making it crack. That's why base support is very important. Yeah, there's another shot of that. The old C-channel to help keep it from washing away all the dirt. This is just one of our valves. Whenever it gets tagged in orange, it means it's been leaking. So right away, I have to spring into action because leaking valves, when you're dealing with hydrogen sulfide, is not good. For those of you that don't know, hydrogen sulfide will kill you if you inhale it. And it's not like it's a slow process. It's like you go, and that's it. You're lying on the ground, dead. It causes pulmonary edema. So anyways, leaking can be either bad or really bad. Yeah, exactly, Serranos. So I took my camera over there because I need to take pictures of the serial numbers, anything like that, so that I can get the exact same valve to replace this. How can one tell it's leaking? So you either go by smell, but then that only works up to a certain point. No, and it's not going to drip and it's not acidic, DJ. You can tell by smell, but that only works up to a certain point. After a certain point, it burns out your nose receptors. So we rely on gas monitors. So all around the facility is some gas monitors, stationary gas monitors that monitor an area. And when one of those goes off, everyone stops what they're doing and they go to a muster station, and then they phone in, or they call over the radio to the control room that they're okay, and then they let us know where the area is that's affected by it, and then they go and suit up in full SCBAs, which are like the breathing packs. They load up on those, and then they go and they find it. And when you find it, then you can isolate it, purge it, and then once it's purged, that's when I spring into action and change it out, because that's my job. So it's quite extensive where we are. We don't mess around. We don't fool around with any stuff like this. Whenever there's a line break, or any time that we have to do something that involves getting into a line, and once we seal it up, then we call in a specialist company which has a electronic camera which can see any of the leaks. If something's leaking, they'll see it with their camera, and they can tell us right away. Even if we can't smell it, if it's very tiny, the guy will be like, yeah, that's leaking. And so we have to, again, either tighten it up or readjust it so that it's not leaking, and then he'll look at it with his special camera, and then he'll be like, yep, it's good, it's not leaking. So we take leaks very seriously where I'm at. Otherwise, people do not go home at night. They will go home horizontally to the morgue. And yes, more pictures of that valve, just because I had to know what it looked like and to find a spare and different angle, just to see if I could see what was written on it. But yes, that's what's involved with that. It's leaking. No money, please. Well, he sticks around until we've got all the leaks fixed up, Godzillionaire. He doesn't leave right away. He usually spends a whole day with us, because we'll go through the whole place that we've had line breaks. Anytime we've opened up a flange or taken something apart, it's like, okay, yeah, we took that one apart. Can you check? So we'll have gas flowing through it, usually natural gas. We'll have that flowing through that. We won't have H2S flowing through it right off the bat. We'll use that gas first because, it's not as deadly. But yeah, let's see what else I got for you guys. Gonna have a quick peek here. Oh, I hope you guys like heights. Have a look at that. So this is our stack where we flare anything that's unwanted. It's also used when we purge and such. We can pass all the gas through there. But those are guys in a basket, and our stack is about 210 feet tall. So these guys are going up They're going up to do something on the top level anyway. I'm not sure what they were doing, but I'm glad it wasn't me. I don't mind heights, but like that crane there, like that, look how far away I am for that. So that's they wouldn't allow because there is a ladder. There it is. You can just see it on the other side there. There is a ladder you can climb up from the lower levels. You climb up here. But they wouldn't let anybody climb up there. Instead, they got the crane in with the man basket. So if I did go up there, I would have took my camera with me so I could take pictures for you guys. But we'll see what happens. I know they're gonna have to go up there again this shutdown because there's a light out. So it's not the heights for you, it's the swaying. Well, yeah, I mean, especially on this thing, if it was windy, yeah, this basket would be swaying pretty good, I would think. But I think they watch that and make sure that if it's too windy, they don't go. But yes, they have to. I know they have to change a light up there. One of them is burnt out, and you have to have lights up there so the planes don't run into it. Let's see. I know I've got a couple more here. What's that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sump pump. So this is what happens when you make everything out of plastic. So here's a plastic impeller. And it looks like it's had a rough go of it, as you can see. And I don't even think they sell spare parts for these. I think these are just throwaway pumps. They're like maybe $150 or $180 each. So once something like this happens, you just pitch them in the garbage. They're not going to pump very well either with that damaged impeller like that. And you can see how this one looks very sharp. Yeah, that's worn down quite a lot. Got a better look at it from up here too. This is a little overhead shot. We took it apart. I took it apart because they were complaining that it wasn't pumping very well. So, like, well, let's have a look. Let's see what's wrong with it. And yeah, that's what's wrong with it. It's got a damaged impeller, which makes a big deal. Yes, Godzilla, that is an unhappy impeller. Yeah, I think we replaced it. I'm pretty sure we did. Put it all back together, waited for the new one to arrive, and then just swapped it out with the new one. I think these are just for sump pumps anyway, so it's not going to do too much heavy lifting. It's just for draining water out of a sump pump. Or out of it. It's a sump pump for a sump. So, I'm just having a look through here, just seeing what's interesting you guys might find. Found out today I'm going to have to swap out a motor on well, it's going to be like, sort of like this. Yeah. I'm going to have to change out one that's sort of like this. It's vertical. So we're going to need something to hold it up. After I disconnect the base, because the thing will just fall down, so we need something to hold it up while we're lowering it down. So that'll be a challenge to try to do something like that. And this thing here is our vibration monitor. So there was a plan to put vibration monitors along all of our motors and fans, just to make sure we can catch them before they fail. So we're working on. I mean, we've got them all installed, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're working that well. I mean, not a lot of stuff is failing, but it's just keeping up with it. They didn't order the one with the horizontal lifting lugs on it for that reason? Yeah, they didn't. They did it on the cheap. They didn't really think about it too much when it comes to a maintenance perspective. But yeah, those that motor, I'm definitely going to take pictures of that when we do that. So you guys are in for a treat when I when they get that motor disconnected and I have to take it out. I'll have more pictures for you guys. So yeah. Well, I think it's just about time to wrap her up here. I've had a pretty good go of it. We had a good time. I hope you guys had a fun time. I know I did. I want to thank you guys that came out here today. Like Jay's Daddy, Alex Moore, Veritax, DJ Ronnie G. Godzillionaire, everybody's favorite kaiju. And the Comic Relief Crusader. It was good to see you there, buddy. CRC. And Serranos. You don't pop by often, but I really appreciate it when you do. And Kitty Bear. And, of course, Human Blaze the cat. It was great seeing you all here. Please do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends about me. Spread the word. There's other good channels out there too, people I personally watch and enjoy, like Pacific 4 and 4. And there's Blaine's Escape Corner. There's Ronan66, our very own DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon the Anime Guy. There's Angry Canadian, our own Woopa Troopa, and of course Punk Waddle. I got a Discord, it's called The Shop, because all the tradesmen hang out at the shop. Coming up Saturday, game stream, brand new game. I finished off Dr. Slump for the PS1. That was a fun game. Really wacky. I liked it. Good, typical Akira Toriyama sense of humor. It was really enjoyable. I'm going to start a new game on Saturday. Hope you guys will be there to see what it is. And then Sunday is Anime Chat. The theme of this month for May is trains. Trains are a big part of Japanese culture. They're a big part of the way they get around, Japanese commuting. You bet your ass there is a lot of animes that have a train in them. So stop on by Sunday Anime Chat. Let's look at some animes with trains in them. It should be a good time. Finally, Tuesday will roll around and we'll do Trade Stock again. Hopefully I'll have some more updated pictures for you. That valve I took apart last week, as what usually happens is I went to put it back together and I don't have the right seats for the valve. So right now I'm spending time talking to vendors to see if I can get the correct seats for the valve, and I will put it back together so you guys can see me putting it together. So right now it's still apart on my bench, and it's waiting for parts. So that's what's happening with that. I didn't forget. It's just that as things usually do happen, is you don't have the right parts for it. I thought I did, but when I went to use them, it's like, oh, this doesn't match with what I have, so I better have it match. That's important where we are because I don't want a valve that passes or a valve that leaks, because that means we're in trouble. So I have to do my due diligence. You hear a rumor that Serrano's played every Steam game ever made? I mean, I believe it. He could make that claim. You never know. Galaxy S39 will take you on a journey. I know, DJ. It might be one of the ones I feature, but you'll have to tune in to find out. I'm going to try to dig up some real obscure anime about trains, and I hope you guys will come along for the journey. Anyway, I just want to say I had a fun time. I hope I see you guys on not Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Hope I see you guys on Saturday for the new game I'm starting. But yes, until then, everyone, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.